that it?
It's a video. It's an old one, I think. See, 9 minutes. This is the mainstream. Shit. So
Right, check again, please.
you have to go to the link. The upstream link. Hold up. What is it? You put live.
Is there anything on coming through now?
Yeah. Looks like this.
Grab hold this.
Okay, go and put it in. How's the audio?
Oh, you can hear it.
Apologies, guys. Is this coming through? If you are, please get some comments in. Let's see who's online. What's going on? Henry, can you take over and drive the chat thing there then, please? Have a look. Is that coming through?
Here. I open it. How's the audio?
Oh, you can hear it.
Apologies, guys. Is this coming through? If you are, please get some comments in. Let's see who's online. What's going on? So is that live? Do we have people watching now?
Yeah. People are saying hi. Sifu.
Is that coming through? So this is the place here.
Here. I open it. How's the audio?
Oh, you can hear it.
Apologies, guys. Is this coming through? If you are, please get some comments in. Let's see who's online. What's going on? Do you mind filling the audio on mine?
Yes.
So is that live? Do we have people? Don't worry about that. Don't stop around that. Okay. My apologies, everyone. This has taken a while, and I understand that some of you have woken up, etc. Sorry for this delay. But hey, everyone. Mox here, living proof that it's better to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So here we are on our first live stream, and it's all about Siu Lim Tao, and thank goodness that teaches us to be patient, because you've certainly shown some. I know that some of you have woken up in the middle of the night, or woken up at 5 a.m. on the weekend, and I can't help but wonder what life choices brought you to this moment where you felt compelled to wake up and watch me talk to you. And I kind of think it's kind of a little bit like the red pill, blue pill scenario, where frankly you should take the blue pill, go on back to bed and keep on believing whatever you want to believe. Or you can stay and take the red pill, see how deep the rabbit hole goes. As Morpheus says, remember, all I'm showing you is the truth, nothing more. Actually, I'm not doing that. Though I did work in an early movie reference and got myself a snack, so booyah! Try that one at home, kids. We did that early, got the movie reference out of the way, so let's dive into what we're doing here today. I am not offering the truth. All I'm going to do is show you my understanding of Wing Chun, my understanding of Siu Lim Tao, and I understand many of the questions are, why is it different? Why do you do it this way? I will try and answer them. But, first and foremost, let me be very clear on this. Me, I am a guy on the internet. You should not believe me, nor should you believe anyone else on the internet, because we're just some guys on the internet. Many are trying to sell something. Me, I haven't worked out what I'm doing, but I'm here. I'm not here to replace your own teacher, your own Sifu. I'm not here to contradict them. I'm just going to give you some ideas. If in doubt, I always say to you, I suggest you defer to your own Sifu's knowledge. Because me, it's very easy. I'm on the outside. I can say anything. I can say, oh, do your fuxao like that, do this. But they are with you every step of the way. They have a plan. They're working you towards somewhere. I'm just the drop-in guy. What do I have to say? Does it have any relevance to you? You figure that out in time. So remember, not gospel truth. Just me talking. Let's work through some ideas. Alrighty, kiddo, you up? Oh yeah, helping me out on the band here today. I thought you were going to be in your t-shirt.
No.
Alright, okay. This is Anton. We got Sarah, Maria, and Henrik in the house. So you can put your comments. There seems to be a bit of a delay. It's going to be a little bit laggy like the moon landings and all that. And some of you may call it just as fake as the moon landings. Up to you. But we're going to work through some issues. First question I have from people, and remember, dive in there and let's make this interactive. Some questions. The differences between, why are there so many differences in something as basic as Siu Lim Tao? Alright, I have written this before on the channel, and as I said, well, no one seems to read these days. It's kind of out of fashion, along with morals and decent clothing. So, I'm going to explain it again here in this video. Why the differences? One of the differences is because, what's that, sorry?
No.
You do realize we're live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Some differences. Why? See what Derek always used to say to me. Training under Mr. Yip Man ain't like it was today. He was very old school. In the sense that if you came up and said, hey, Sifu, I've got this really cool way to do a futsal. He'd just look at you and he'd say, okay, can you do it like that? You do it like that. He wouldn't bother correcting you. He wouldn't tell you. Now, when somebody says to you, if you can do it like that, you do it like that, it's very, very insightful as to your own personality. If your ego is big, you'll say, hey, it must be pretty good. Even Mr. Yip Man said I can do it that way. But if you are more open to knowledge, you may adjust. So you'd say, well, he didn't actually say I could. He said, can I do it like that? If I can do it like that, then you might think and wonder if it's the right way. So to answer your question, he wasn't rigid, saying you must do this, you must do that. That leaves a lot of open interpretation for people. We can go this way, we can go that way. Open to interpretation. Now, you go down through the years. People left Hong Kong, went somewhere else. There was no YouTube, no books. So you couldn't say, well, did he actually say to do a futsal this way or this way? Don't know. Time and memory play funny tricks on you. The last thing I want to say is, I was once in a commercial Wing Chun school and you have to give demos out in public and all of this. When you are giving a demo out in public, I strongly suggest you do not give a demonstration of Siu Lim Tao if you have any intention of people joining your school. Because done properly, Siu Lim Tao doesn't exactly get the pulse racing, nor is it meant to, unless you do turn it into a sales tool. Then, and I'm not putting Donnie Yen down, but I've seen when they do the Yip Man movie promos and all of that, he gets in front of cameras and he does his form. And you hear audible oohs and ahs from the audible oohs and ahs when someone's doing Siu Lim Tao. You've managed to turn it into a performance art. Well done, because that's quite an achievement. But that's what's going on. I especially love it. Somebody sent me a link recently about someone was doing their Siu Lim Tao, and they managed to get the whole audience, all audience joining in. They started, and then everyone in the audience started, oh yeah, did you see that? Wow, that was really something going on. It's the equivalent of being at a rock concert and everyone joins in the air guitar and gets in it. We're talking about performance then, rather than self-improvement. So, long way of answering. Many, many differences in Siu Lim Tao. Which is right, which is wrong, I'm not here to say that. But that's why. Mr. Yip Man, just his lineage of Wing Chun, so many different branches, because he never was one to say, do it that way, wrong, do it that way, wrong, do it that way. So you want to do it that way? Be my guest. I've shown you one way. If you want to do it that way, you do it that way. So, with all of that in mind, I teach Wing Chun a certain way. The way that Sifu Derek taught me. That is not to say that I'm now carving out stone tablets and saying this is the way Wing Chun must be done forever. It is open to interpretation. But if you read the code of conduct that I posted, if you really understand Wing Chun, by all means, if you can improve it, improve it. But first I want to ask you, do you really know your Wing Chun? You want to be really sure before you start messing with it. Now, to answer questions on, let's talk about, okay, we had a question on futsal. Futsal for me, please. And the stance and all this. Let's do a little bit side on so you can see here. All right, can you guys see? Well, I need to move back this way.
Yeah, if possible.
You can talk,
Just
so
slightly.
you yell out, move back.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
we'll move back.
Perfect.
Do you see here? All right. Futsal like so. Now, in Siu Lim Tao, I suggest that you always want to be focused in a triangular sort of structure. Let me just pause for a moment here. I'm going to talk about some ideas. These are introductory ideas. I'm not saying that if you are somehow a grandmaster and still watching, you woke up early to watch this. Okay. These concepts don't apply to you. I'm talking about when you're starting out, how do we practice? And the concept of a triangle is important, a question that we got there. what is this structure? Is Siu Lim Tao all about triangles? In a sense it is. But for a beginner, when you're practicing, well, the main thing when this hand is doing Fuch Sao, the triangle I need to see is that this side of the body is also turned on. Let's try it without. Anton is now focused on this side of his body, so I want you to think about only this side of the body, and I'm applying force into him. Now you can start to see his body move slightly, because he's compensating. Now he has to tense this side of the body to push me back. He's going to get to a stage where I apply enough force where he breaks. But now the same concept again, and you think of that side of the body, even though this hand is relaxed, yes, it's still pointing towards me. There, so now we have a triangular structure. He's intent, he's using both halves of his body, focused along the center line, so that's also focused towards me. Now, Fuch Sao, but there's a triangle because that side is on, this side is on, please. Here. Now you may think this is some effect and all this. No, actually all our videos are live streamed. We don't rehearse. I just roll the camera and we show things. This is the same idea. If he focuses both sides and he thinks of a triangle and this is what he's doing in his form, both sides of his body, suddenly he has structure. He has strength. Not the strength that you may think about, but he has force and proper structure. How are we going here, Henrik? We got any comments or anything?
We're all fine. We have a few questions so far, but take them whenever you can.
Well, hey, jump in. All right, let's pause for a moment here. Do we have any questions about these issues? Because this is meant to be a live stream.
So, the questions so far are regarding the Siu Lim Tao itself.
Mm-hmm.
There has been mentions of breathing, when and how.
Okay.
There has been mentions of why we do 3 Fuch Saos.
Okay.
And what is the single Lam Sao?
The single...
Single Lam Sao, someone said. So.
Okay, so we're going to have... That one I don't quite understand what hand you're referring to. So let's take it through from the beginning. And it's good to have questions, by the way, because if you guys are challenging me to see if I can talk for 90 minutes non-stop, challenge accepted. So better you get the questions in, because otherwise I'm going to win that one easy. All right, breathing. What do you think, kiddo?
Not sure.
Well, thanks for coming. It's really good to have you here today. Breathing, just breathe. Okay? What I suggest, I actually had this question, Henrik, you asked me this question earlier on. Henrik is he's an engineer, he details, fascinated by details, physics, all sorts of things obsess him. I said to him the same for what I say to everyone. Training your Siu Lim Tao, don't overcomplicate it. First thing I say to you, if you want to improve, here's my challenge to you. Because Sifu Derek said it to me and I said, yeah, whatever. And actually, Mr. Yipman said that to him, and at first he was also, yeah, whatever. And so it doubtless has been for generations. And what is this, yeah, whatever? They would simply say, practice the damn form. Maybe not as strongly as that, but practice the form every day. Now, when I say every day, I do mean every day. So the challenge I just said to Henrik is, this is my 1,000-day challenge. You must do the form every day, 1,000 days in a row. If you get to 846 and then you get the flu and you skip a day, guess what? You go back to 0. I mean every day. Every single day without fail. Doesn't mean that you do it twice on one day, then you take the next day off because you go out for a big night. No. Every day you practice. At the end of the 1,000 days, your understanding of Siu Lim Tao will be very different. When you've done it for 1,000 days, some things will be clearer to you. You will not perhaps be so worried about details like how am I breathing or anything else. At the end of 1,000 days, you will be able to... Show me the center line. Any hand. Okay? That's it. Now if I move that hand away, recover the center line. Now recover the center line. When you do the form a lot, and that's why I set this arbitrary 1,000 days, you actually start to physically feel your center line. This is what I've noticed in teaching beginners. It's the same way that if you wore out a piece of wood with a groove, and I rolled a marble, the marble just drops into that groove. Same thing, you just learn where the center is. All of your hands, they just drop into the center when you're here. Now this might sound very easy, but it's actually quite hard to do. So that you're anyway out there for a center. Or even if you don't, can you think of the center? Better. Now recover the center. Okay, good. Like so. So that he is protected as he attacks at the same time. Do the form a heck of a lot until you can feel the center. And as I said to Henrik, I said, because he had, breathing, I wish his questions were that easy. I don't even understand some of the questions he asked me. I said to him, and this is probably a good trick for anyone who's teaching, tell him to practice the form for 1,000 days. That gives you 1,000 days to come up with better answers. But seriously, practice it for 1,000 days. You will have the answers yourself, I promise. You may not think less about the breathing and say, you know what, I understand now unified body structure. I understand the triangle is not so much what I see here, it's about within me pointing towards there. Alright? Breathing. Sorry, question?
Here's a question from south of Sweden.
From south of Sweden. Hey, south of Sweden. I think I know who you are. Alright.
You might know. How do you keep the triangle structure while moving?
Okay. Good question. I like it. But I did say a Siu Lim Tao. So, Siu Lim Tao is like this. So, that's my politician's answer. Alright, but to answer you, this is why the Siu Lim Tao, we start off not moving and we only do one side. But, even though we're doing one side, as I said to you, you need to train stationary. This hand is moving, but this hand is still on. Show me. That hand needs to be on. That hand is on? Is it on? Okay, yeah, right? There. See? Even though this hand is moving out now, going back, there. He still needs to have, in a stationary position, has he trained to that? Otherwise, people are thinking, and I'm going to exaggerate it, Siu Lim Tao is like this. It's about this side, is doing all the focus, and I've got all this energy. It's not. It's about that triangle idea. The triangle is not physically formed like that, so I do not need to do my Wing Chun like this. There's this hand back here. So that even when I'm here like this hand here still has a triangle. That hand, even force in both. The triangle is even force pointing towards his center like so. When you've mastered is a very strong word and I don't want to try and, I'm not putting myself out there as a master, let me be very clear on this. I'm giving you some ideas. So the idea is that if you can form the stationary triangle and do it really well, then moving it really, it's okay. It's okay. This is another area where I want to get into controversial area. Siu Lim Tao teaches you everything you need to know about movement as well. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Because everyone's saying, hey, what about that secret fancy footwork? It's not. Siu Lim Tao, you have a structure set through your whole body. From your feet, everything, and you move that. You move that wherever you like. When you have learned to set your structure, you move it anywhere you like, and sorry, you're giving me a signal, but I don't understand what that
just the
means.
headspace.
Oh, my headspace.
So
So
how
my
much
head's
you
getting chopped off. Okay, thank you. I'll stay back here then. Probably save a few. Right? So from back here, I probably have to shout. And by the way, if you can't hear me clearly out there, send a message so these guys will tell me whether I need to speak up. Moving. Practice the Siu Lim Tao a lot. When you feel that you can move this hand and do all these exercises with this still focused, then I think you're going to find moving not so difficult. Because if this and this can unite, then this and this can unite also. I hope that answers you, but we will cover that when we do a Chum Q session and we're moving more. I hope that helps. Sarah, you're furiously scribbling away there. Anything that you'd like to add?
Here's a question. Why is the futsal done with a bent wrist?
Okay. Why is the futsal done with a bent wrist? Well, bent many ways. I guess you mean, why is the futsal like this? Or why is the futsal like, Okay, well, we're guessing, and you probably mean like this. Now, this is my futsal. Sorry, actually, it's not my futsal. This is Siva Derek teaching me a futsal. And I've experimented with it. Why I do it? Because someone did ask me and say, on the futsal, I like to bury the elbow. Because, there is a Chinese saying, you need to bury the elbow. To me, rather than the shape of that, throughout Siu Lim Tao, it is about, slightly on this angle if you don't mind, please. It's always about spine, there, towards me. they need to be focused towards me. Let's just say Fuchs out. Rather than bearing the elbow, because, exaggerating here, my wrist is on the center line, you can see this here. I press the elbow in, it tends to, when I do it, make that want to move away. Now, I could stop a punch here by pressing in the elbow, but I'm wide open here. Instead, my hook is 1, 2, 3, joining the dots, joining the dots. And this is an idea I do a lot. Sorry, if the camera, you can just flick it towards here. I just want to do this. Can you see here?
Yeah, all
right.
fine.
1, 2, 3. My son is fond of these sort of drawings where you join the dots. And that's the idea, joining the dots, always towards the center. And you can take a break there, kiddo. I'll just babble on. I'm quite used to this. Okay, here. All right. This is a good one. Here is this. Joining the dots means I am always thinking 1, 2, 3 towards the center there. And that's what I'm focused on. Not thinking bury the elbow, because now you can see how if I overdo that, I'm pushing my arm out. All right? Now, let me show you a little bit further. Kiddo, sorry, I will need to borrow you again. So, your foot. You're doing foot out. Let's point it towards you. So, the same thing again. He just relaxes. 1, 2, 3, and he points it at me. And he thinks about this joint just here. That joint there is pointed towards me. Right? 1, 2, 3. That part of the bone right here is thinking of pointing towards me. Aha. Okay. Right, we'll ignore that. They'll call back. 1, 2, 3 is focused towards me. Now apply force. Okay. But now he gets a bit lazy, and you see he does his hooks out a little bit like so. So he does there. Now that causes a change in his forearm here. His forearm goes from those bones and all this aligned towards me to this here. Now, when I apply force, it's so easy for me to push him back. We're not putting this on, okay? I know that's why I say don't believe guys on YouTube. Test this out for yourself. But when his structure is like this, good, I've got the bony hands again today. From here, this bone is presented along the floor. Like this. Now, Anton, would you care to just give me a thank you? Just press in, so you're in front. Yeah, okay, you're pressing in. See, there it's very easy for me to resist the force. But now, when I start to lose that focus, it instantly overwhelms me. Thankfully, I'm notoriously weak, so it's very easy to show being overwhelmed by force. So again, I'm here. Now, that is not to say that there are great Wing Chun masters and all that who cannot do their fuks out like this. They sure can, and you can. Because if you understand your body coming in, then I understand how to control his structure. That's fine. But for beginners, there's nothing wrong with correct structure. So for me, the correct structures are about aligning and forming 1, 2, 3 triangles, if you like, towards the opponent's center. So pressing in, please. Like there, okay? Not about thinking, oh, I need to press the elbow in. Because now I'm creating tension over here. This is how I do fuks out. One final point. Practical for sticking hands. Okay, so you do fuks out. Can you see that fuks out properly here?
Yeah, the fuks out can be seen.
Okay, the fuks out can be seen. Right. Now notice, because I've seen it's because some people ask me, why don't we do our fuks out kind of like, so this is a bit tense here. Nowhere in Wing Chun do we try to produce that tension. Why? I'll show you why. This is just my view. So duckbill like this, so you're doing the fuk like that. Now that he's pressing against me, but firstly he's slow, that allows me to run hands. But even if he's not and he's focused towards me here, you see, because his force is stiff, it allows me to attack him very easily. But now relax, proper fuks out, focus the points towards me. Now it's very hard for me to initiate a surprise attack against him because he can feel me instantly. By being relaxed like this, let's just have a look. His hand is free of tension. He is sitting on me. He is sitting on me with maximum surface area. When he tenses his wrist like that, there's a slight amount of Yeah, slight gap, let's show it. We brought the little laser pointer along. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Well, look.
They get the point.
Yeah, I think you get the point. That if you see my hand here, I play peekaboo with you. If I arch that, like I'm trying to press down on his hand, I lose some sensitivity. And when he loses sensitivity, okay, so you arch or put any tension there, I can either run or I can just go through it. But if he, excuse me, I'm coming back, like a plate, his foot is just sitting on me, wherever I go, the plate goes with him. I can't be, well, maybe magicians can, where you go really fast and the plate stays in midair. But no, he's just sitting on my hand like the plate. So, yeah, he's just relaxed and he's thinking about 1, 2, 3 towards me, not forcing, but he's thinking. Now, you see, wherever I try to attack, he's just sitting there like the plate. It's very hard for me to try and initiate a surprise. But now tense the hand or do any sort of duck bill or anything like that. Now, even if he tries to press towards the center, it doesn't matter. He won't be fast enough to feel me moving and attacking him. But when he relaxes, 1, 2, 3, he's got something going on there. All right? Do we have any follow-up questions or anything else on that?
Yeah, we have some more questions.
Oh, good. I'll have a cup of tea while I hear them.
Okay, firstly, do you think it's wise that some Shifus don't teach Qisao?
Wow, we're going to get the controversial one, aren't we now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this is unfiltered me. I apologize. This is a live stream, so there's a risk that elements of my personality may come through. This may be shocking. This may be confronting. Big drink of tea. If you are teaching Wing Chun and you're not teaching Qisao, I can't find a polite way to say this. You're not teaching Wing Chun. Qisao is one of the treasures of Wing Chun, in my opinion. You can call it something else, etc. But why do we do Qisao? It's not fighting. It's not sparring. The way we practice it, sorry, I arrogantly say we, perhaps I should just say the way I practice it. Doesn't mean it's right, but this is the way I practice it. 2 reasons for Qisao. To improve sensitivity and to practice your structure. If you are not practicing your sensitivity and structure, how else are you practicing those 2 elements? And without the proper structure and sensitivity as a tool, you have just some blunt Rex Kwon Do Wing Chun, for want of a better word. It's just center line and a lot of stuff like that, which happens. Yeah, you know, I see it. I see people practicing their wooden dummy with that sort of Rex Kwon Do. It's all about some. I've even seen videos that call it slam-in style jong. Slam-in style jong. I said this is me without the filter. Yeah, I don't agree with any of that. There's plenty enough. Why I came to Wing Chun, you've all seen my story about what I did. I was looking for this. For me, the smaller, weaker guy, something to do. If I wanted to practice blocks like this and build up and just toughen up, there's a dime a dozen. You can find plenty of them. That's not why I came to Wing Chun. That's not the Wing Chun I was taught. So that's all I can say about that. You have something more?
Yeah, we have several questions on both Tan Sao and Fuk Sao. So first one, should Tan Sao have a bent or straight wrist?
Tan Sao. Ah, okay, very good. We've been talking about that today. Let's talk about the boat, kiddo. Come along. Okay, boat. Yeah, I'm going to steal one of these paper plates again. Tan Sao, bent wrist, etc. Bear in mind, I'm going to reiterate this again and again. Forgive me, John. These are not hard and fast rules. Okay? I'm not carving in stone here saying, these are my 10 commandments, thou shalt follow them. Alright? These are ideas. The idea is this though. When you are at a higher level, you can do your Tan Sao any way you like. But for beginners starting out, I teach them with the idea of a boat floating. What do I mean by a boat floating? The ground in everything here, it's ocean and water. As his Tan Sao adjusts, his wrist is loose, and automatically the boat floats. Alright? So the wrist is always loose. The wrist is always loose. Why does this matter? I've grabbed his hand here now. His boat naturally just floats, like so. and let me work in an earlier idea. There's still a triangle. The triangle is 1, 2, and this is important. I need him to come think through that finger. Don't have to be stiff. Though in your mind you may give your opponent the finger, you just think through there. Think through that point. Now, see the boat is floating. Because here, okay, great, it's pushing me back. Now I apply force like this, float the boat. Okay, the boat just adjusts by itself and I move his hand to here. I move his hand to here. Alright? Now he doesn't. He holds a rigid fist. So, his tansao starts out here. Okay, like this. Now it's good. Okay, so you start here with a rigid, loose like this.
I think you mean like the wrist thing.
Yeah, I know. So like here. Okay, so you're here, and that's good, and it's parallel with the ground, it's all good. Now I lift him up, and he holds that. Now, it's just so easy for me to move him back. But, if he keeps a supple wrist, and he keeps thinking of 1, 2, 3, no matter where I move his hand, see? No matter where I move his hand, he is going to be able to control me without... Yeah, that's worn me out. Alright? So, the tan, don't think of it as locked. It's just loose. One final clue, and I'm going to dive into this about elbow force. You need to think of your elbow as well. That's a future topic. We could spend hours, well, I could spend hours talking about it. Not today. Take a break. Any other questions?
That was one of the questions actually.
Uh-huh.
Elbow force.
Elbow force.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a related question
Yes?
to earlier would be, should the futsal have a downward or forward force when a tansao is underneath? This is all related with elbow force and everything.
Okay. Futsal and Wing Chun, we are attack is defense, right? The plate doesn't need to press on my hand to stick. Wherever I go, the plate goes. It just sits in my hand. Similar to the fuk. I'll borrow you for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks. So the question is, does Henrik's fuk need to press down on me when I'm doing the tan? Okay, that could be a trick question. Because perhaps you're feeling that the person who's doing a tan sao is instead thinking they're in the gym and doing a lift. So he's like that. So the answer is still, regardless of what game your opponent plays, you concentrate on yours. That is that triangle idea. And I've said triangles so many times already. I don't want you to come away from this and say, oh man, he said triangles. I want to see triangles and everything I do. It's an idea. It's an idea. Alright? Now, the foot. Don't press down because what is that doing? That would perhaps succeed as defense, but whereas the attack is defense, which needs to be in everything we do. So, instead he thinks 1, 2, 3. Okay? You focus in towards me. You focus in and that side is there. Now you relax that point there as I was saying. Yeah? Okay, so we're testing it out. So he's full. Yeah, very good. Now, remember, like so. And that point there, Henry. That point there. Yeah, that's it, there. That's it, there. That's it, there. Okay. Now you keep that idea. You relax and you think of that point. Yeah, you think of that point. You think of that point. There, rest and think of that point. Now, you think of that point there. Now, I'm going to apply force up against him. You just stay relaxed and stay focused. Attack is defense. He's defending himself, and I can tell you as the one applying force, I don't want to move that hand because I'm very aware that he's aiming right at my center. I can feel it right here in my gut. This is what you need to do. Now, to answer the question though, because some people, if your partner hasn't been training very well a long time, their tansao's hooking up. So you're feeling that. But, loose wrist, let the force run. Okay, so you're hooking upwards. Okay? You just relax. You just let it go, which is why you need to have these loose wrists. Why Hun Sao is so common. Somebody had asked me and written in and asked and saying, we don't do as many Hun Saos as you, is there any advantage? Again, not getting into a who is right, who's wrong thing. We do Hun Sao a lot. It is the most repeated movement in the form. Well, at least how I do it. There's a reason for that. That the looseness of the wrist can be useful in so many ways. So, pin me in against here, like this, my wrist is loose, I can overcome it, like that. Alright? Or, my hand is on the outside and I can't get through, I don't want to withdraw it, I rotate the wrist. Okay? Loose wrist. So many useful ways. Just by turning the wrist, you change the angles completely. You add I hate to use it because I got corrected on this, another vector of force. You take force in a different direction, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. This is quite funny. We are writing our questions. We forgot to bring paper. We're writing our questions on plates. I'm still astonished by this. All right, what's the next plate?
The next question is, could you explain more about the stance and relaxing pulling up the spine?
Ah, okay. Ooh, that is a tricky one. Which of you guys wants to help on this one?
Sure, I can do it again.
All right, okay.
Let's get going.
Okay, relaxing. Now, this was a question I want to do about how I relax, etc. One of the first things you can do about relaxing is how you even form the stance. Quite common, I see people relax like this, and depending on how you do the form, this part here is where I see tension. So it's like you're lifting a weight or something, but pectorals curl, biceps curl, pectoral muscles clench, and I can see, then that pushes out and all sorts of stuff, or there's tension here, that's up. No, none of that. So please measure it.
Sure.
Can Henrik be seen?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, when he's here in this position, let's just talk about here. Make sure that you haven't got tension creeping in. So you just want to relax that and loosen that. Alright? And this hand here is straight. Notice, just so it's a punch. So it's not like that, because then if I want to hit, I have to first like that. It's just straight. To hit, it just turns and it can punch. Now, straight, relax that into here, and you think of just let all your weight drop into there. That's good. Now feel a springiness in the elbow there. Now focus on that point there towards the center. Very good. While he's doing that, the other side also does all of those things. Very good. Like so. That's it. Stay. Just relax. Okay, so we want to relax all of that. Think of that dropping down into the elbow. This projecting. When I say projecting, it's more a mental thing. So don't think, I need to any second now it could just fly forward. It's not like that. Just relax. That's one. That's this area here. Now, let's get to the back area and the spine. I am no expert in this area, so I'm not going to talk too much about the joints or anything else. This is what I feel. And it's like a baby step, so you're listening to a little baby learning how to walk. Baby steps here. What's happening is, you need to think of your spine relaxed. Not, how do I force the spine up like that? But first thing, when I form it, I like to think of my spine being as relaxed as leaning like this. We're running out of battery, are we? Okay, you need to plug that in and then you need to press the button.
We're good.
I think you need to press the button to start that. Yep. Okay, cool. Right, we're still on air. And here we are. Spine is relaxed like this. I think of if you're holding a puppet. You hold the puppet and the puppet just dangles like that. Alright? But if I said dangle like that, that would encourage you to sit. And that means it's very hard for you to be stable or no. We want to connect the whole body, not just hang off a hook like that. So here, when I'm thinking relaxed, at the same time I think from this up. From here, the tailbone of the human being is normally curved back like this. I hope you can see my finger, but I'm giving you a little curve like that. Right? Curve back like that. When I'm really relaxed and I relax these muscles here and all the thigh area, all that, I find my spine just drops and elongates. And then in my mind I can think of that tailbone, it just slides and rotates forward. Okay? It is not an aggressive physical act. You can have problems there. Kiddo, plug it into the USB port.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't?
You mean the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, I was using this.
Yeah.
But I think the battery on that one was...
We'll pause just a moment, otherwise we're going to lose the feed. Yep.
No.
How are we going?
It should be. I can't see because the stream is up if it's
Yeah.
sharding. It should be sharding though,
It
right?
should be charging.
Yeah, fine. That's
So
Any comments?
if we lose the stream, we will be back on air, okay? So let me finish off on that point. You want to be relaxed from here down. I am not pressing or sitting or relaxing in terms of dropping. No. So I think of like a puppet on a string. I just, from this point, I'm just relaxed. And then, almost at the same time, I just think down to my tailbone, and I just relax all these muscles, and I find the tailbone naturally by itself, realizing after all these thousands of years of evolution, hey, we don't have a tail back there, we're just going to relax and down like that.